term. I said, so here's a little trick that you can do that's going to make sure you're 100% wealthy when you get older. I said, I know you're going to be wealthy because you're 19 and you're asking me questions that people usually don't ask me until they're about 39. So I said, here's what you do. Um, just give yourself a matching program. Like companies do this. You know, how companies will say, whatever you invest, we'll match it in your 401k. But, I said, remember, companies aren't the only people that can give you a matching program. You can give a matching program to yourself. So what I told him was, I said, just whatever you spend now, just spend something for the future. I say one thing that environmentalists do is they make deals with companies that are like chopping down trees in the Amazon. And so what the companies will do to make these environmentalists happy is they'll say, look, okay, for every tree we chop down, we're going to plant two trees or something like that. Or for every tree we chop down, we'll plant one. It might even be one for one, whatever. I said, do the same thing with yourself. Every penny you spend, invest a penny at the same time. So if you go to McDonald's, you spend $12, buy $12 worth of stock. You go to buy a pair of Air Jordans, they're $182.42, buy $183 worth of stock. You get a new iPhone for $1,122, go buy you some Apple stock for $1,122. Just pay it forward at the same time while you're enjoying your life right now. And I said if you just do that, so even if you're a big spender, you're going to be in really good financial shape long term. Now, here's what's ideal though. See, here's the crazy part. Um, a lot of us would applaud the idea of a 19-year-old investing at the age of 19. He's going to be light years ahead of everybody else. He's going to absolutely kill a lot of his friends who are not even going to be thinking about investing until like the year 2040 or something when it's way too late. That's beautiful, but that's not optimal. That's really not the best he can do. The best he could do is if he had parents who started investing for him before he became conscious of money and the need for money. So if he had a father or a mother who was 21 years old 30 years ago, let's say in, 2000 or 1990, 1994, and they said, okay, one day I'm going to have a son and my son is going to grow up and my son's going to need money. Do you follow what I'm saying? And they start visualize. They have consciousness, which is vision, the ability to see the future, the ability to think in a higher dimension, and they can look way out above the trees and they say, okay, I'm 20 years old right now, but in 30 years I'm going to have a 20-year-old son who's going to need money for college, money for whatever. So I'm going to start investing now so that I can have something that I can give him. Now, remember though, this is not the same as him sacrificing for his son. This is sure, sacrifice, the son will benefit, but he's really, really sacrificing for himself because he gets to use that wealth and have that wealth as his financial security guard until his son needs the money or until he decides he wants to pass some of it on. Do you understand? So he's not really doing it for his son. He's kind of doing it for his son, but he's also doing it for himself, but he's kind of doing it for everybody. So if his dad or mother had done that at 20 years old in the 1990s, so then guess what? They're buying shares of Apple stock for 25 cents, maybe 50 cents, maybe a dollar. They're buying shares of Nike back then. They're doing the same thing. They spend $10 at McDonald's, they buy $10 in McDonald's stock. They spend whatever, right? You get the point. So then you have 30 years of time. Time, 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 time. Time is the number one grower of wealth in all of existence. Time, 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 time. The biggest waste was not money, the biggest waste was time. So no matter how poor they were, by the time this boy is 20 years old, 19 years old, he's meeting Dr. Boyce Watkins in Killeen, Texas. They've had 30 years of wealth building, which means he's not showing up to me as a 20-year-old with high hopes and ambitions. He's showing up to me as a 20-year-old with a $250,000 trust fund where he's looking to allocate the resources that he already has. Do you understand? Do you understand how just literally learning how to think about wealth as a team sport grows your wealth astronomically, exponentially? It's that simple. So remember, it's a team sport. Create a matching program, form the right habits, wealth becomes easy. This kid at that point, he's not just this ambitious 20-year-old that I'm very proud of, or 19, whatever his age was. He's already wealthy. He's already got resources. So he's got big dreams and the ability to fund his dreams. See, dreams have to be funded. And that's where we lose sometimes, is that a lot of us have the best ideas. How many of you have gone through that? Give me a yes if you've gone through that, where you had a great idea for a great business and saw an amazing opportunity, but you couldn't fund it. Has anybody ever gone through that? Give me a yes if you've gone through that. Or imagine a time where or maybe some of you that know how to trade stock options. Like I was showing our son the other day. I was like, oh yeah, so if I bought, I don't know, 1,000 shares I think what stock was I doing this with? I think it's like, let's say it was Clean Spark or something. I was like, yeah, so if I have 1,000 shares of Clean Spark, I could sell the options, and I could, make in a week approximately, I don't know, let's say 60 cents per share. So I'd make $600 a week because I bought 1,000 shares of Clean Spark, which would cost me about $10,000. And I said, but I said to him, I said, well, imagine though if you had enough capital to buy 50,000 shares of Clean Spark, right? 50,000 shares would cost about $500,000. It's very easy to build $500,000 in wealth over, a generation, a decade, 2 decades, right? $500,000 is slightly more than the cost of the average house in America. So it's not an insane amount of money. But if I had 50,000 shares of Clean Spark, I could sell that same option on a weekly basis and make roughly, what's the number here? I'm trying to do the math in my head. About 60 cents each. Yeah, if I have 50,000 shares, I'm making $30,000 a week. $30,000 a week. You know how much money that is, right? That's like $1.5 million a year. And there's no work required. I don't have to do anything, right? So if you give your kids a capital base, I'm telling you, that is far more valuable than a college degree. It's far more valuable than a dream job. It's literally the absolute best thing that you can help them to accumulate. But you gotta connect to the team sport idea here. If you do that, everything's easy at that point. I'm done. I'm gonna stop talking. I sometimes I over talk it because I do, this is something I bet my life on. I guarantee you do these things, you're gonna see a lot of problems go away. A lot of problems become very easy to solve. All you got to do is change the habits and change the family dynamic and the family conversation. All right. So anyway, I'm done talking for today. It was great to see you all. I hope this conversation was beneficial to you. One of you were asking about things we have that can help you figure out ways to generate that extra capital, that extra income. We do have a franchise program. I don't talk about it much, but it's something that it was done. It's not live, but it's available. And if you're interested in learning how to start a franchise as a way to build wealth for your family, there's the link right there. So feel free to go take a look at the Black Franchise Program. It's really, really good material, taught by a franchise expert, and it's something that I think could give you something to brainstorm around as a family if you're looking for ways to make extra money or do something together as a family. Franchises are beneficial because they give you the business model without you having to figure it all out. So feel free to take a look at that, and if that fits your your next step in your investing journey, um, then I hope that that helps you. Okay, guys. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you have a great day, and happy election day, by the way. Tonight, if you like that type of stuff, if you want to see me sort of having crazy conversations with other black people, later on tonight we are gonna have like an election panel, and I'm gonna try not to talk too much. Y'all know my position. I believe that the wealth overrides the politics. But I am going to have some guys in. I respect, there was a whole conversation about black men in the election. So I got some black men that really we should be listening to. One is a guy named Jamal Green. He's a young guy, about 31 years old, out of Chicago. Jamal he ran for mayor of Chicago at 28 and got a lot of votes. Like this guy is amazing, dynamic. He spoke at the All Black National Convention. He actually boycotted, I think, Chase Bank because they were not loaning money to the black community. And he got them to come off of $1 billion in additional lending for the black communities in Chicago because he called them out. And I just have a lot of respect for him. Another guy's a guy named Terrain Walker, who's an activist filmmaker. He's very much into the politics. And then there's actually one guy named Tony Lindsay. I didn't know Tony was he's like a big Trump guy, And I was like, man, I didn't know you were such a big Trump guy, but I like Tony a lot. And I don't care who you vote for. I just like to have good conversations where we can bounce around different ideas. So if you want to join tonight, we will be on drboycetv.com, and that'll be tonight about 8 o'clock. So feel free to pop on in if you want to hear an all black conversation around this election, and I'll throw in my 2 cents too. So have a good day, everybody.